delighted to say we have our first guest of the evening on the call. He's a former British, European and World Cruiserweight champion. It's Carl the Cat Thompson. How are you, Carl?
Hello, I'm okay, thank you.
Excellent stuff. We'll just get straight into it. We've got Carl for about 10 minutes, so we do appreciate him giving us his time. Carl, you've been out of the ring now. It's 2005, you retired. What have you been doing yourself? Are you still keeping your hand in the boxing game?
Yeah, I'm more or less keeping the public getting them fit, you know what I mean? Trying to teach them some boxing. I'm not sort of training in the fighters, but I'm involved with these fighters, which is Ben Sheeny and one or two others there I'm involved with. So yeah, I'm still in the circle, but at a low level, you know what I mean? Still, it's keeping my feet into it.
Yeah, and obviously your old division was the Cruiserweight division. We're seeing this World Boxing Super Series at the moment, the finals coming up in May. Have you been keeping an eye on it? What do you think?
I watched the semi-final one. It's looking good. I wish I was around when they brought something like that around. I would have loved to compete in something like that. You know what I mean? I fancy it.
You weren't ever tempted to get back in the ring, were you, after you hung up your gloves?
Well, I was. I think I was 48 at one stage, but I had to hold back because family didn't want me to do it. Because at the end of the day, if something were to happen in the sport, it's down to them. So I respect their decision that they didn't want me to do it. So I pulled back. I mean, so it was hard. It was hard doing, but I know that I could do it. But I had to make this decision and not put my family through that stressful period. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just looking, you had so many great fights, Carl. We're just looking down your box rec here, but one that stands out for us guys, and we've actually covered it on the show before, is a 2001 fight in the Withenshaw Forum between you and the late Ezra Sellers. You were knocked down 4 times. Sellers went down twice. What do you remember about that great 4-round fight?
Well, I'm saying it's 3-2 thing. He didn't knock me down 4 times. I'm just around one of the knockdowns. But that was a hard fight. I mean, we both could punch, and there was no science behind it. We just went into it in each other. I think he was more lucky than me because I think the bell practically saved him at one round where if the 30 seconds longer, I would have stopped him, you know what I mean? So I say he was lucky, but it was a great fight. We got a fight of the year for that from the British Boxing Board, and it only lasted 4 rounds. So it went for the scrimmage, should I tell you that. It was a hard one.
It certainly was a great fight. Just a couple of years before that, in 1999, one of your more controversial fights, it was a fight between you and Johnny Nelson, and I thought that Paul Thomas was a very premature in stopping this one. Carl, would you agree?
I definitely agree. I think referee Paul Thomas got squeamish, and I felt like he didn't give me the chance as a champion to defend my title, and he stopped me in the 5th round. Sometimes I think, I wonder if I was allowed to go into the second half of the fight, it would have been. I think it would have been a completely different decision. I mean, because I fought another fight straight after Johnny Nelson, which was Terry Dunstan, and he can be awkward as well. And then I look at Mickey Van's scorecard halfway. I was 5 rounds down. Come to the 11th round, I was 1 round in front, and then I stopped Terry Dunstan in the 12th round. So it just sort of shed a picture that a similar thing was going to happen to Johnny Nelson. I was down probably 5 rounds to Johnny Nelson, and then I wasn't given the chance in the second half of the fight. And I'm a bit gutted because Paul Thomas was allowed to voice his opinion, and no one came to me and said, "Carl, what do you think of the stoppage?" You know what I mean? And I thought something's wrong here. I mean, so the referee's allowed to defend this decision by saying, "Well, I just didn't want to see Carl get hurt," but I've been in hard fights and I come from behind and win hard fights. And why is this moment a bit different from others? You know what I mean? I'm a bit gutted, but you know what? I've seen Johnny Nelson and all that, and I shake his hands and say, "Listen," and it wasn't your fault or anything why it got stopped. So, just let it go, man. So I've let it go. And so I try to forget it, put it that way.
You were a real come-from-behind guy, Carl. I mean, one of the fights our listeners will surely remember is 2004 on the BBC against a certain David Hay, who was the big up-and-comer at the time, but you were a savvy, experienced guy. He had you, sort of rocking a little bit maybe early on, but you stuck in there and come back.
he rocked me loads of times. I'm not going to pretend that he didn't hurt me, but for some known reason, I was able to stand on my feet. And, of course, I've been in these situations so many times, on my back against the ropes. I mean, I know how to hang in there. And he never fought someone like me. He's never watched my fight. He thought he was going to go in there and take me out and bomb me out. I think someone said, get Carl in the first half of the fight, and that's the only way you're going to win. And unfortunately for him, he didn't have a plan B. And when it was a plan B, he couldn't do it because he was too tired. So I took all his energy and zapped him from him, and there I was taking over. But it just completely changed from the fourth round. I had him, and he couldn't deal with that. No one's ever put him in sort of a dogfight like I did,
He'd been knocking people out, hadn't he? And I think he thought you were just going to go the same way.
Exactly. When people come and you see me fight and think, oh, you could beat Carl, but it's different. But when you see it from outside the ring and watch it, you think, yeah, well, I could do better here. And that's exactly what David was doing when I fought Sebastian Rothman, and that was a hard fight again. I just watched him, and he really fancies his chances, and that's what prompted him to take that fight, really not looking how difficult he's going to beat me. I remember I was 41 at that stage, and he was 23, so he thought, whoa, I should be an easy fight for him. But, if you, like I said, he looked at my career and see how many hard fights I've been in. I don't do that. I don't lie down very easily.
No. Just to remind our listeners, we've got Carl the Cat Thompson on the line, a really excellent pro. Didn't know how to be in a bad fight, Carl. He boxed from 1988 right through to 2005, 40 bouts, winning a variety of titles. Just before we bring any of our panel members in who might have a question for Carl, you mentioned the Sebastian Rothman fight there. That was another one. I hope you don't mind me saying, Carl, it was starting to get a little bit uncomfortable watching at the time. He really was laying it on you, and then all of a sudden, what did you do to him?
It was a hard fight. I got short notice for that fight. It was 4 weeks notice, and basically I was zapped leading up to the knockdown. I ended with a zap. I pretended that he got me with a half decent punch, and I went back and pretended I was more hurt, but I was more tired more than anything. At the same time, I was loading him to come in, and then that's it. I just spring into action and got with the 1-2. I mean, so, I more or less set him up, but from the outside, the people watching and figuring what they don't think that was happening,
Yeah. We've got Carl for another couple of minutes, guys. Anybody want to ask him any questions on the panel? Fire away now.
Hi, Carol. Just to ask, obviously last week, I don't know if you watched George Groves kind of win the 12th round with basically one arm. Similar happened to you against Ralph Roccagiani in your first world title fight. You're winning on all three scorecards, and then you dislocate your arm. Just how painful an injury is that to kind of fight through?
It's very painful. I mean, I had a sharp pain. I think it was in the 10th round, so that's when it popped out. And I didn't realise at the time it popped out, but it must have went back in. And then come the 11th round, I've thrown it, and that's it. It went. I just had a shooting pain. My pain, I couldn't go, and I have to give George Grant full credit. He continued on it and put off the win. But even though I was winning, I felt a damn sharp pain. I couldn't. It just like it crippled me really. So it's very hurtful.
I remember Groves actually saying that. I think he said he threw the jab and it came out and then it went back in, just like you're saying. And then when he threw another punch, it came out when they go back in. But obviously, you won the rematch, but split decision victory again. A fight that you clearly won, but another ludicrous scorecard: 115, 113 in Germany for Roccagiani.
Yeah, and one of them gave a split decision. They gave it to Ralph Roccagiani. I thought which fight I was watching. This time I had a different game plan. It's disgraceful. I think that's the best time I've ever boxed without getting involved. I was prepared to go to 12th round and kept it a high work rate, and that was the key to beating him. And that's exactly what I did. You know what I mean? And I showed everyone that I can box. But it's two sides of me, and I think I like to be in the, in saying the phone booth. I like to be there because if I'm on the outside, I feel like I'm going to get beat. So I like to get involved. And what prompts me is when I'm fighting in people's backyard, I like to break my fighter's heart, you know what I mean? So when the crowd are cheering for him, it cheers me on. I like to break their heart. So it's great when I get invited to people's backyard and they're going to think they're going to win, but they don't use my psychology that I use to their crowd, their supporters, to stop them from beating me. And you can't break me. For me, you have to stop me to keep me down, Because I always said to myself, I've lost a couple of fights, and it's very soul destroying when you lose your fight and you're going home in the car or on the plane as a loser. And you know what I mean? I said to myself, don't feel sorry for yourself in the ring. If things are not going right for you, you've got to keep working, you know what I mean? And that's about exactly, I've been got knocked down. If I can get back up, I will fight you. And never regret, you know, think about them words, you know what I mean? So they carry me through hard fights, you know what I mean?
No regrets.
That attitude alone, mate, that's why people call you a legend, and that's why you get a lot of love, especially in Manchester, mate. I mean, your attitude's absolutely brilliant.
Thank you.
Yep, Carl was definitely a road warrior. Just looking at his box rec again, you know, fought in Belgium, he fought in Italy, fought in France, Switzerland, Germany. What was one of the tougher places to go, Carl? Did you have any bad treatment on the road? Did they try any nefarious tactics against you?
Oh, well, I don't know bad treatment I can think of, but it was a Thai boxing match I had to fight, and it's a world title Thai boxing fight, and stuck me. I went in Holland. It was Holland. It was, and stuck me at the red light area. So that was a bad enough treatment.
That was one of the worst ones, yeah.
Yeah, distract me. But I was dedicated.
He was. Any of the other guys got any questions for Carl quickly before we let him go?
Just a few weeks ago, I was actually reading an extract for Joe Calzaghe's book, Carol, about when you went to the WBO convention with Joe and Nassim Hamed. So we got beef with Naz at that time, Carol. Could you tell us about that, mate?
Oh, it's me and Nassim, Prince Nassim having a bit of banter at each other, you know what I mean? That's basically what it was. Just friendly banter, you know what I mean? He was giving me just as good as I was giving him back, so we didn't fall out over it, so it was all fun.
That's a game. I laughed at that. It was quite good for Joe.
Hello, sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
Oh, that's just Tommy, Carl. Don't worry, he has quite a strong accent. We have trouble understanding him sometimes. Right, any of the other guys got anything they want to ask Carl quickly? Doesn't look like it, Carl. Just before we close, an interesting fact about yourself, which some people might not know. Your name's not actually Carl, is it?
No, it's Adrian. Reason for that, I thought Adrian was soft, and it was a soft name, so I needed a hard name. And I thought Carl. And for some reason, the initials spell out cat. So that's why, I'm not literally, just the initials of my name, Carl Adrian Thompson. That's the reason behind it. So if I wanted to be a cat, you just let the initials spell it, so just go with it.
Well, whatever you were called, Carl, you had a career to be proud of, and we do thank you for coming on, and we appreciate all the ring wars you're involved in for our viewing entertainment over the years.
Okay, thank you for your call.
Cheers, mate.